This lesson, I want to do a quick update on the products page. So the first thing that we should do is update our HTML. So I'm going to bring this one up here at the top because we're going to be updating this HTML here of the products page to get to look different than our main company area. So this would be products. So we may have a listing of different products that we want to be able to display and showcase. So here I'm going to create a div as the main container, and maybe we're going to use unordered list and list out our products. So this will be nice and neatly presented products, and within here maybe we've got some product images that we want to highlight. So let's go back over to Lorem Pixel and select out some products. So we've got our animal products, food products, and so on. So let's try out and see what different ones we can have here. So if we had food here, so maybe we had a restaurant or something, so I'm going to copy image address so I can have a series of different images. So img source, and then add in that source for that image, and I'm going to do this, maybe we want to have 6 different, so I'm not going to have an even number, so an uneven number of images here. And actually that didn't turn out that great because I forgot to close that off. So let's erase all of this and try that again. So now I've got a series of images, so maybe I want to adjust it and do a grayscale pick or something like that. So we have some variety, or another image. So let's see what loads here. So maybe I should do that as color. So they do actually give you random images here, so I actually have no idea, but when we're linking to a specific image, it's going to give us more of an image that's a regular image. So that this is essentially the reason that I'm doing it this way, is that I don't actually have the same images. So I think it's maybe just changing it by number, so we'll try that out and see what we can get to happen here. Let's go out to our example and see whenever we do products. So we'll see that we've got, first I want to see if we've got images that are loading, and it's a little bit of a slow loading time. So maybe this isn't the best way to do it because we've got a series of images and it doesn't look like they're all popping up. So little by little they're coming in. So what the problem here is that we've got an unordered list and we're displaying it as an unordered list, and of course we can take care of this within styling. So now that I can save that products area, and maybe we want to identify this as id equals, so this is the main the unordered list, and so I need to remove out that unordered list defaults. So this is my items or something like that. So this is what's available on the items. Maybe I could have called it my menu or something. So now let's go back into our CSS and make an update to make it look more presentable, like it would be within any type of gallery where you'd have a series of items. So let's ID my items, and the first thing that I want to do is get rid of those defaults within that unordered list. So margin, padding, set those all to 0, list style, and set that to none. And so this is going to present it much better. And now we need to update those list items. So we're going to do the my items, so list items, so LIs. And maybe what we want to do is float it to the left. Give it a default width of, we'll do 30%. And add in a margin. So we're going to have some nice margins around it, so 5%. So maybe I'll update this to 40 so that we have a total of 50. And let's take a look at this now and see how, if it stacks a little bit better here within products. So it looks like these images are taking a little bit of time to load in. So maybe there's another resource that I can use in place. So there's another one called Placeit for placeholders of images, called Placehold. So this will give me some placeholder images. And the thing here too is I didn't want them all to be the same size. So I'm not sure why it's taking so much time to load, but let's just update these to save us some time. Of course, it would have looked better if we would have had those actual menu images, but I think if we're picking out particular images, maybe it's having a hard time finding some of them. So just gonna make this one 500, because not all the, sometimes, you know, you do want to have your images the same dimensions, but you know, it's not always going to be the case. So you need to be able to accommodate that when you're working with your CSS. So let's take a look at this now. So now we've got a series of different images, and it's all laid out nice and neatly. And one thing that we do want to do is whenever we shrink it down, maybe we want to take up that full available width that's available to us. So by default, we want to have it laid out that way, but whenever we resize the page, maybe we want to take up different spacing or something like that. So let's update the CSS for that. And then of course we need to also do a clear for the last one, for the last element as well. So we could do that as well within the CSS. So let's go over to here, and so I had my items and list items. So we can get rid of that float left. So maybe we want to only add this in whenever we're resized over the 480, and then that means that over here we need to update this to be and 100%. So see if this looks any better. So now we've got the images taking up the full available 100%. And generally this is a little bit better. Maybe we even need to set the default image width to be 100% no matter what. So again, depending on how you want to style it. So this way the dimensions aren't going to be messed up. We see that the only ones that are actually resized are the ones that are over the 480 point. So again, depending on how you want to present it. So this is one of the things that when you're picking your image sizes, make sure that it can accommodate the different screen sizes. So if you do have images that are really small images like these 350s, you've got to take a look at that and wonder how you want to present this image. If you want it to resize to a larger size, and you're going to pixelate it a little bit if a 350 goes to 480. So that's something to consider when you're designing your website and before you get your assets in, to determine what the dimensions are, what the minimum size of widths are for your images that you're going to be presenting on your site.